Hello everybody, Ponceninho speaking here from Brighton. I wanted to make this video of something that came up in class yesterday, and one of the students had an issue with understanding this part of the rhythm, and then I was thinking of how to help, how to solve that problem. And it's really incredible how much I learn from having to think of different ways to approach. Né? Because one thing is to play the instrument, and another thing is to teach. Obviously, it's sounds very simple but there's a huge difference between just being able to do something and teaching, and that's because there's some things that I've learned when I was a child that I don't actually remember how I've learned. I don't. I remember perhaps my teacher sitting down and show, but not the process of each part, of breaking down each part. So breaking down each part has become a really important tool for me. Perhaps having the rhythm played, it's important because you can hear. You have a very good idea of the overall feeling, the overall melodic sound of the rhythm. And you can break down to the very small part of the beginning of the first note that then starts to reconnect with that rhythm that you already have in your mind. It's a work of visualization as well as mechanics. When I say visualization, I mean in your mind, listening and hearing. So different experience will benefit. But if I just may also begin this video by thanking you, because you've sent me lots of messages. I was not expecting to receive those wonderful messages in relation to the last video that I did with the lyrics, singing a song and putting the lyrics down. So I'm going to prepare another one. As I said, I really wasn't expecting to be something I did for my students, but I wasn't expecting to actually get the feedback. Perhaps sometimes I forget how it is valuable to listen to the song and have the lyrics in front of you and have a little bit of the history of the song as well. So then perhaps you really are learning the song and about the song and how to sing and not just repeating. Né? That's interesting actually, because Mrs. Antonio always used to say that. He used to say, we have a phrase that say, viu cantar não sabe aonde. That's another really cool phrase actually, because it says you hear the song, but you don't know where it's coming from. Yeah. So say, don't be the person that hears the song but don't know where it's coming from. That means really get to know the song. So I'm going to make another video on that. Okay. Today it's not going to be a singing video. It's going to be a video related to a rhythm called Iûna. I also would like you to tell me if you think that this video had a better quality sound-wise. Let me know, because I've been working really hard to find the best ways for the sound experience to be the best possible, especially when we're talking about music and sounds and songs and Berimbau. And it's not about the image here, it's about the sounds that I'm producing. So I think I've got a good setup this time. Let me know if the levels are okay. Before I play, the rhythm Iûna, the rhythm of Iûna, it's what we did yesterday in class. And I did based on the album of Mestre Bimba. Why am I saying that? Because it's not considered, from my experience. You could hear a different story from another teacher. I know there are different lineages on this. These rhythms are very difficult to, be able to say exactly, because there are different schools that treat slightly different, perhaps an accent different. But nevertheless, we do have a recording of Mestre Bimba. Which I think it's probably the first recording of this Iûna in a capoeira album, I think. If someone knows differently, let me know in the comments if I got that wrong. But I'm before Master Berimbau recorded that, I don't think anybody recorded this rhythm. Okay. Now there is an association there that you may think, does that mean he invented the rhythm? Did he create that rhythm? I don't know the answer to that question. My speculation is that he didn't. Maybe the way he's playing obviously could be quite personal to him. But I have heard this rhythm played in other lineages of capoeira, and I don't think those lineages were influenced at least not directly by Master Berimbau. I could be wrong about that, but I have a very strong feeling that the reason, although he recorded the rhythm, it does not necessarily mean that he invented this rhythm, okay? So that's a question for me to go further into and actually see if we can find, was there ever a first person who said, I've just created this rhythm? You know, that's would be a very amazing thing to find out. Okay, or maybe I'll find out that he did create the rhythm and I was wrong the whole time. Anyway, I'll get back to you on that. More to the point, this rhythm, it's very profound. It is profound. It has a lot of stories behind. It has a lot of sometimes even mysticism behind this rhythm, and that's because the rhythm called Iûna. Iûna is a bird. I'm going to play for you a little bit of the sound that the bird does, which is something that I only heard much later in my career. I never heard the sound of the bird, and I certainly never seen, maybe if I saw, I didn't recognize, the horned screamer. The horned screamer, as in scream. So it's a family of birds similar to, there's one bird that is actually called capoeira. I spoke about this before. There's a bird called capoeira, and it's from the same family. And there are places in Brazil where people recognize that bird as called capoeira, not in any relation to the art form that we do, capoeira, okay? An interesting fact about that bird is that flies low, close to the floor, close to the ground. And that's pretty much kind of an analogy to capoeira itself, being close to the floor and fluid. Imagine if a bird is flying low near the floor. That's quite a powerful image for me, because it's not saying walking or crawling, it's literally just hovering, floating, wherever. So it is connected very much with the world of the masters. Yeah? And, you know, in my opinion, there's a side of that tradition that I really appreciate, because I grew up hearing that the only mestres and mestras were allowed to play capoeira when that rhythm was played. And we don't have to take that as, you know, as an authority thing. Absolutely don't have to do that. I am right now developing, I'll get to this point as well. I'm right now developing a musical idea based on Iûna that is really melodic, and I want my students to practice and play and move, you know. But there is a place for that in a grading ceremony, in a special occasion, and I think it's quite nice to have something like this that, although not a rule, although not as something that we absolutely must follow, we can play with that, we can play with the idea, but it's quite nice to have a moment where, wow, I have been waiting for this moment to play capoeira with my mestre, with Iûna. You know, I think there's some value in this kind of traditional approach, yeah? And especially if it's somehow validated by experience itself. So if it's giving us an emotional value to it, a poetic meaning, an emotional value. So the day comes, there's a grading ceremony, and you know that it's going to be a special day for everybody. So now we are actually adding value to that waiting, to that moment that you waited for, yeah? So there's a few things to talk about this rhythm. There's also I grew up hearing this all the time, that many masters associated this rhythm with a very melancholic feeling. Now, I personally, and I know many masters who told me that they don't, I personally do get, depending on the tuning, not melancholic, but I do get that. I feel that there is something quite sad about this melody, and it can be, as I said, based on the right tuning. There's something quite melancholic about that mating call. That's a bird's mating call, from one berimbau. If we're talking the context of capoeira regional, I'm just giving you historical context, okay? I'm not claiming to, this is, I'm giving you historical context and then telling more or less how I work in my school, because obviously this video is also for my students to learn some things that are perhaps hard in class to talk to this length. Now I can see in the camera here, I'm speaking already for 11 minutes. In a class of 1 hour, if it's not a music class, then it starts to add up. So he has that melancholic feeling, which is why is traditionally also played by capoeiristas when a capoeirista passes away, dies. Né? If a capoeirista dies, then at the funeral they play Iûna. Some people, some may say, don't do that to me, I want something happy. But others do that. And where I stand on this is, again, I think there is something quite sad but beautiful, emotional about that. Now, so I can see the association. Rhythm for teachers and masters, something quite important. Capoeirista dies, not just teachers and masters, that rhythm is played as an homage. Okay, so that was just some historical and some facts about the rhythm. But actually this video is only for me to show you one little thing about the rhythm. It's not for me to teach you the whole rhythm. I hope it doesn't disappoint you, because this is coming from, as I said, that one thing that I realized that if I showed you would really, really help. It is the backbone, is the skeleton of the rhythm. And if you practice that, you actually be able to do quite a lot of cool stuff with it, okay? So I'll just get to the point here. So there's a few things to consider. This berimbau is, I've tuned slightly to, yeah. It's a beautiful, there's no right word actually. I don't know what's the right word about this. Could you give me some? Could you tell me some? What do you think this is? There's an overtone and it comes back down. And then it opens. Now, as you can see, I'm not holding the pedal yet or anything. I'm just showing a little bit about this rhythm. There's a friend of mine, I'm sure a lot of you have heard of him, Mestre Fantasma. He said something to me once that I thought that's so beautiful. He said, I have showed a student once, I think I got the story right here, but he said that a student wanted to learn berimbau, and he told the student that he needs to do this first. Just that, just to understand that. When he told me, I didn't fully understand. I was like, I thought, I knew there was something there, but what is it? And I said, well, if they cannot appreciate that one note, it's going to be hard to teach everything else. I'm paraphrasing it, but it was along the lines of that. And it was so beautiful. I love that approach. Yeah, you've got to be able to hear, boom, and hear that note, and wow, the one note. There are not many notes in the berimbau. Well, that you can talk about many different things that we do, but really, that one note must be heard. Yeah, that's our main structure, right? Okay, so if I was recording, I would probably go a bit lower, just for effect of even a deeper sound. But so then, assuming that you know how to hold the berimbau, if anybody doesn't, let me know, and I will do another video with the basics of the basics of the. I just know that there are so many videos on this on the internet, like so many videos of how to play berimbau. So I'm on a slightly different path here, if you know what I mean. I don't just want to be like, oh, it's a tutorial. It's, you know, there are plenty of amazing tutorials there. So you're holding the berimbau. Now what I will say is that the grip for the pedra really matters here. Because for what I'm going to show you, we just need to go with an open note. And that pedra has to be very soft. Now, I usually tell my students to hit below when the pedra is open, and obviously above, because there's nothing here. There's a harmonic sound, but that we don't use that. But actually for this, you can hit just there, just to get the basics of it, okay? And it's probably even better to start not moving the berimbau. So have the berimbau on your belly. I call that the muffled sound, because it is as if you're going, so the sound is not coming out. That's why the mouth is then closed here, but the sound still trying to come out, which gives that muffled sound. So if we just go, now you can see the muscles of you can see it here, the tendon here, but the grip is soft. I'm not going, I'm going. One thing that I do, and I actually do that, I mean, I have done that as a warm-up, as a practice myself, which is to do that note and just really let that one note vibrate here. So, see, I'm not worried about pattern yet. I'm just going, it's getting used to that. See? That was a bit too fast. It's hard because I'm feeling about slightly dropping the pedra rather than putting forward. These are personal taste, characteristics. I don't want you to think that that's how you have to do, but... So that was better for me. So I want the pedal to slowly stop the wire moving. But in that slow stopping, it will vibrate against it. Yeah? So then we get into a pattern. I'm going to lift the berimbau a little higher so you can see. But we don't play there. Yeah? We play at the mouth of the... called the mouth of the belly. Or a little bit lower. Again, it depends. But I'm going to play a little bit higher so you can see. Okay? So I'm moving here. Basically, I want you to watch this more than the belly. But then we're going to enter this design here. So we go. I've hit the pedra now. Okay, so that will be the base. This is something important to practice because you go. There's two notes here, two chiados. That would be the next thing. Two chiados. I'm hitting the pedra a few times there. Probably I'm quite conscious of the camera in front of me. That sounds a bit like an excuse, né? Don't hit the pedra. Ou the dobrão. Now, the cachixi, We should probably have another class on this. But the kashishi, you can turn it on and off even on your hand. So I can do something, and I don't need to even do that to turn it on and off. It's more here. More fingernails. The volume is still the same here. Okay, so see how you go with that. Then we should come back to this rhythm and talk about all these things between, such as such a beautiful part that is, it opens like that. Again, as you can hear, it has a lot of depth and it has a lot of place to go. At the moment I'm exploring, if any of you that play Berimbau, I know some people, hopefully some of you that are already good Berimbau players are enjoying this video as well, even though this is probably very easy for you. We can have a collaboration, because I'm thinking a lot. I spoke to Paturi and Giovanni yesterday, and Leticia, some 3 students of mine that are very good musicians. They were in a class yesterday. I spoke to them about this, but I also want to speak to others. I've mentioned to Matthew before. I want to speak to you guys about this, which is I want to explore this kind of variation here. So this. See that classic one there? Because I think there's a lot of syncopate things that we can do that there. And if we have 2 or 3 Berimbaus, again, I know some people are going, 2 or 3 Berimbaus playing Iûna, 2 or 3 Berimbaus, what is it doing? I am changing musically for Ginga practice for the things, okay? I'm not establishing anything new here. It's purely as a matter of practice and to add flavor. And because I want to. You know what I mean? So, well, then off you go. Né? But basically, I'm thinking about this. So always something here. Not representing very well, because this is to do with 2 or 3 Berimbau. So one Berimbau is going don 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 ding don ding don. The other one you can just hear ding 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 don 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 don, and then you hear another one just going don 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 longer don 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 ding don don ding don don. Gets very jazzy, pom con ding don don pom ding don ding don ding don pom don don don. Don, don, we have a moment here. Don, 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 maybe the 3 Berimbaus have a moment here. Don, 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 ding, don, ding, don, 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 ding, don, don, dum, pa, chika, ding, ding, don, chika, dum, don, 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 dum, dum, don. Come back to the bass, chiki, dum, don, don. Now I'm starting to say paraga, dum, dum, more samba-like, but all of that can come out. Imagine a deep pandeiro. Maybe there is a pose. Okay, that might sound crazy the way I did. So let me know how you find this exercise, just that exercise. And now as we finish the video, I'm gonna play the sound of the scream, the hornet scream. It's a It's a really kabasa in sound, right? There's also something about this that I love, which is the fact that it really is communicating with nature. I mean, we don't even need to say, oh, this is a poetic approach. It is so poetic in so many ways that it should really be inspirational, and you know, just beautiful to communicate. I mean, I can just imagine some artwork done with the bird and the sound. You know, maybe we should. I think I'm after collaborations. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Let me know if you enjoyed this video here. We can do more on this, more on little bit of classes and that. Most of all, if you think it sounded good, I definitely want to see your thumbs up, because I'm working hard to make this sound good. All right? Have a wonderful day. Ciao, ciao.